Hey, everybody around this mother is working hard. What we gonna do that's different, that separates us from the rest of the league? We got the most talent. What we gonna do? Let's get it. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Yes, indeed. Family. That's what it's about. And the Bucs got the best squad right now, in my opinion, especially when it comes to wide receivers. But again, welcome everybody to another great episode of Bucs Report, the Aftermath. I'm glad to have you here. Happy Monday. I hope you got your rum and your popcorn. And let's get ready to have fun. We're going to get ready to talk about the Bucs preseason. We're going to break that down and evaluate each player, what we saw, what we liked, the pros and cons, and what needs improvement, and who was a stud, spectacular, and what to expect in this final preseason against the Bills. But again, AJ Turner up here as always. Check me out on my TikTok. It's AJ Turner. Also, my YouTube channel. It's about Buck and Time. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting season. All right, and no further ado, we got Slick, aka the British guy who's always fly. Now we're gonna give him a quick shout out, guys, because the Hereford Stampede has moved on to the next level. They won 17-7. Is that correct, Coach Slick?
We did. It was a tough old battle. It was, I think it was 10-0 at the half, and we were pitching for a shutout, and we got complacent. The foot got off the gas. Guys thought this was going to be easy because they ran the same shit. They did what they call, I don't know if you know it, called a go-go offense.
Okay. Is that like a wishbone type of
go-go offense? Is two running backs, but they're both side card to the one side.
Okay.
I've not seen it before, if I'm brutally honest, but our defensive coordinator, who is a football nerd, knew exactly what it was, and I basically spent most of the day just charting out the backfield movements and the backfield action, just so he could get a handle on it. And after a while, within 2 or 3 drives, that's all they could do. They had one wide receiver screen that they kept on hitting on it, but it gave them maybe 3 yards because we just fucking straight down on it. So big credit to the guys. Probably our best defensive game. So when I first got there, when I first met up with them, I didn't have a chance to coach them. I just watched them. The game that I watched, they beat a team that's in the same division as them that ended up going second in their division, in their conference, so to speak. And they won the game 63-44. This team that we faced was way better than them offensively. Okay. And we held them to 7 points. And that's something to be immensely proud of, because of and there was a lovely moment where one of the defensive line coaches, they said, "What's changed since the last few weeks?" He went, "Him." He pointed at me, and I was like, "No, the fucking players, dude. I'll take credit for the defensive backs. I ain't saying we fucking nailed this because of me. Not a fucking chance. There's a lot of dialing from a lot of other fucking people, but it is nice to be appreciated." But,
of course. You did your part. You did your job, and that's why it reflected to the players. You know this. Attitude reflects leadership, Coach. So continue to have a great attitude. Continue to be relentless. So what was your finest moment in that game? I want to know. What quarter?
Mine personally?
Yes.
Mine personally? I didn't get to do any play calling or anything like that, but I kept on giving jobs to other people. So one thing I decided to do this year was, to the DBs that weren't playing, and there were guys who did not get a lick of football today, that day. And I said to them, the best thing you can do to service your team is sit there. I want you to look at that fucking wide receiver. I want you to look at that wide receiver. I don't say it's my best moment, but it was one of my best ideas. But I'll come to my good rallying speech that I gave later, which I do think was my defining moment. And I said to them, I want you to chart everything they do, how they block, how they stand, how they look when they're when they run the ball, how they look at when they pass the ball, and I want you to keep relaying that information to the guy who's out there. So when he comes off, and we break down and everything, I want you to relay that information that they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, and that way we're giving a constant stream of information to our guys so they know. Because I can't look at everything. I'd love to be able to be that person, but DC's got me charting the backfield. Not something I'm used to doing, but that's what he wants me to do. And none of that shit was on film. None of that shit was on film, what they played against us. But my defining moment, I'm a big energy guy, really big juice factory dude. And I remember saying to them, I think it was like this, we're middle of the fourth, and I turn around to everyone. My voice was hoarse at the time. And I said, if you fucking really want Division 1 football next year, you will go out there and fucking take it from these fucking guys. The only way into Division 1 is through dead man's boots. And they're the fucking man. So go out there and fucking kill a man. I want to see the next drive like a live fucking YouTube snuff video. Fucking pure execution. Just done. Over. It's done. And they free and outed, and that was it. And we just ran the ball. Offensively, we were not as good. This team's a very, very sexy offense. They have a guy called JJ Spencer, who just is phenomenal athlete, just really big. He's like 6'5", built very, very well, very quick, very shifty, can do almost anything. They throw him in at quarterback at times for like an option wishbone kind of quarterback.
Yeah,
he is very, very talented, and the defense was the reason they won. The reason we won was the defense. So that was awesome to see, because previously we went against teams and we won convincingly, but it was like a 63 to fucking 44 game, and that ain't gonna win. Not when the offenses you're gonna go against are gonna be much stronger, much better. And in all fairness, we should have pitched the shutout. We got complacent. I think everyone kind of expected that was gonna happen, and we didn't. But I said to the guys afterwards, I said, look, you conceded, but what I want to see is how you're going to go out there and fucking change it, because this can roll. They've got a little bit of momentum, and if you don't get back into this motherfucker quickly, you will quickly find that they'll win this. They want this. All they got to do is win this game, and they stay where they are. They haven't won a fucking game all season. They've put together 10 points on the season. Their entire regular season, 8 games. 8 points. They're shocking. But the level you go up to when you go from Division 2 to Division 1 is massive. There's a big shift. Not many teams do it. Some teams go up and go straight back down. That's why they've done it. I think that's why they've done it this dead man boots way. You've got to get in. The problem is we don't have a final anymore, which means we don't have a big thing. We don't have a national stage to do it on like we did last year when I was with the Steelers. So that's kind of gutting. So I don't even know if we get rings at this point, because it's not a championship. We didn't win a championship. There is no championship anymore. You win a playoff game, and then you have the right to go and play the bottom team. It'd be like whoever won the national championship gets to play whoever came last in the NFL.
Okay.
And they would take their spot, kind of thing. Look at it from that perspective. And we all know that a lot of those NFL teams probably wouldn't lose.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't. No. But that was again another great. What a great way to win. And it's funny. We should get rings, though. We should get rings. Yes, you should get rings. But also, again, everybody, check out Coach Slick on my video. It's called Give Coach Slick an Opportunity. You hear it here. A humble individual, but he's humble and hungry. And that's what we want in our coaches. Hunger, but humbleness at the same time. That's what we need, especially nowadays in sports over here, Slick, especially in NFL. There's a lot of guys out there that are losing out on money and opportunity because they believe their values here, but that's a whole other conversation. But we're going to take a quick little short break because we're going to get to why your score for your team is significant to this Bucs. We'll be right back, y'all. Right back. 1 second.
Hey, everybody around this mother is working hard. What we gonna do that's different, that separates us from the rest of the league? We got the most talent. What we gonna do? Let's get it. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back again. Just wanted to get that out there. Now, it's significant, Coach Slick, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually did something that was very interesting. They pulled out a win, but at the last minute on a drive, 17-14. So it wasn't too off on how you operated. I want to give us your analysis on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side. Take your time, Coach. Go ahead and break down what you liked and what you saw.
This Steelers team can play defense, especially run defense. They're very, very good at it. And I think if they have their pass rushers in, it could be another different story. But and I'm talking about their premier pass rusher, and I'm not talking about the guys who are out there that day. This Steelers team, I will say, will be one of the top run defenses in all of football this year, just by what I saw. And the Buccaneers in that conversation, that the kind of like top 5, top 10 kind of argument. We couldn't run the ball. Even Bucky Irvin. Now I know Bucky Irvin hasn't got the entire starting offensive line, so he's going to have to try to shake and bake to make something fucking happen. However, when you have that much talent struggling, it tells you that they have talent. They have it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Buccaneers found a way to win. And most surprisingly, it came from a quarterback that nobody saw coming. If someone told me that you're going to be in a preseason game and 2 of the touchdowns are going to be thrown by Teddy Bridgewater, I'd have laughed in their face. Not because I dislike Teddy Bridgewater. I always liked Teddy Bridgewater. He was the second choice that the Buccaneers were He was the expectant guy to take over from
Tom Brady.
James Winston.
Oh yeah, James Winston. That is true.
And then all of a sudden, the rumors came out that Tom Brady's coming to Tampa, and that obviously blew the Teddy. Oh, we're going to get Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater not too bad. Like, he's like Mike Evans. He's like James Winston, but careful.
Yes.
Maybe not much of a rock, not as much of an arm. But I tell you what, he looked good, and Kyle Trask looked like trash. Kyle Trask is yet to throw a touchdown in this preseason. He has yet to do it, and that's a surprising stat. So I think we've got to commend Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves, for getting 2 touchdowns in there. One we got to see from Emeka Egbuka. And that was always awesome to see. I think was the other one Sterling Shepard? No, it was someone else.
The other one was Bucky. The first touchdown was Bucky.
Yes, Bucky, because he couldn't get it done on the ground. So they went, okay, check this out. And that filled me with some goodness because, Bucky, we always see him as the running back that just, plods ahead and keeps moving the needle for us. But to know that he can do that, that gives me a bit more hope because it means Rachaad White, I'm not saying his days are numbered, but it means, okay, losing Rachaad White wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because we now have a back that can do some of those things. I'm not saying he's the same kind of guy because I think Rachaad White is probably one of the best backs in football at doing that thing. Probably second. Best is Kamara.
Well, I'll say this. Slick, it is. His days are numbered. Why? It's because of his availability. He cannot continue to get hurt like this. Now, hopefully, I want him to be good, but his best asset for the Buccaneers right now is pass blocking. And like we just saw that Bucky can go out and catch. Bucky might be able to be able to pass block as well if they teach him more. But now it is closing in on him because we see that Sean Tucker is a strong back. And I honestly think, Slick, that Sean is going to get a lot more opportunity this season because I think Grizzer is going to pick up where Cohen left off, but in a better way. He's not just going to use Rashad and Bucky. He's going to say, we're going to use all our backs. One, we want to keep these guys fresh as possible because they got to a certain point where we didn't want Bucky to constantly get fed the ball and getting beat up. Sean Tucker has explosiveness. We saw that in New Orleans. So now let's see what's going to happen. I want to go back to what you said, though, Slick, on the offensive line. Earlier, I was a little irritated because we were getting manhandled. But also, you're right. One thing that I told people, and I said this on Twitter, that this is not Tennessee Titans, y'all. The Steelers are a physical, real deal defense, and they did this without Hayward. I think you're correct, Slick.
Did they go to the playoffs last year?
They did go to the playoffs last year.
So there are look, we all know that their coach is a defensive-minded coach, ex-linebackers coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they won the Super Bowl. Like everyone will remember that. There is no surprise that they're a very good defense. There's no surprise because they've been built off that.
Yep.
They were just very good at marrying it with a really good offense for a while. Obviously, the offense has declined, but the defense has always been stout. Always been stout with the Steelers.
Yes.
It's their identity as a team. They're like us.
Yes.
I mean, they're not exactly like us because they've been around a bit longer, but my saying that the whole defense, when they went through that dynasty era of themselves, Terry Bradshaw was a dude, but that defense propped him up on the shoulders.
Right. The steel curtain.
And really helped that guy out. I'm not saying that Terry Bradshaw was a fraud or anything like that.
He's not, but the steel curtain put him in much a better position. I know exactly what you're saying, Slick. If there's no steel curtain, Bradshaw, we don't know if Bradshaw would have been able to be as dominant. Again,
I think he would have won one. I'll give him that.
Right.
I reckon they'd get one, but I don't think they'd have the dynasty. I think it would just be.
No, I agree. The Steelers at that point were the most complete team of all time. Why? Because they had Hall of Famers at wide receiver, at quarterback, and running back. Their offensive line wasn't bad, but then the defense, enough said. They had the most complete roster. So you are right on that. But Bradshaw, I think Bradshaw, that's why he understands. That's why Mean Joe Green, I guarantee you, most people in Pittsburgh community will take Mean Joe Green before Bradshaw. It's not that they don't love Bradshaw, but that's Mean Joe Green. That man established himself, and they established that 4-3 and cover 2 that we all love Tampa. So
that's where the Tampa 2 came from. It evolved and became the Tampa 2.
That's right. So I agree with you 100% on the Steelers, because I thought the same thing. I said, I want the Bucs to go against a physical team. I want to see what we can do, because you've seen in the past, Slick, how many times in the past that physical teams would just kick the Bucs' asses? They would manhandle them. This is a test. This is what you're supposed to do. And in the beginning, it was looking rough, but then I think eventually we started to pull ourselves together. I will say this, though. I was very impressed. First off, I know Emeka is going to be a star. I'm going to say it like this. If Godwin doesn't get back till after like week 7 or 8, Slick, we're going to have 2,000-yard receivers, and it's going to be in Mike Evans and Ibuka. I'm calling it right now. If Godwin doesn't get back before week 7 or week 8. Why? Emeka is just that guy, man. The way that he dropped his hips to score that touchdown, that is professional veteran moves. I was so impressed and blown away by this precise to keep his eyes on the ball. Meanwhile, you have the defender in his face, and he didn't bat an eye.
It was a lovely catch. It was a great take. Really pleased with the performance of Emeka Ibuka, because you got to, and I just want to say this to Bucs fans, you got to remember that it's not the case of like, oh yeah, he got a touchdown. Let this sink in. He got a touchdown with so many limited reps. Not like he got 20 reps.
Right.
Probably got less than that. He had a drive, 2 drives maybe, yeah. And to do what he did, to be that guy, the flash in the pan, you're not always going to get targeted every time, because they're game plan for him, for sure. But to be that guy in the red zone.
Imagine what's going to happen with him and Evans out there. Now you have to plan to pick your poison. And this is why, Slick, that we tried to explain to Buck fans. Remember how people panicked? No, we should have got an edge rusher. We said, guys, Light has a plan.
The jury's out on the red edge rushers until like the jury's out on edge rusher until we see the end of the season. Now, like, you can say that about the wide receiver group. Fair enough. I'm down with that.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I wanted an edge rusher.
Gotcha.
Well, I did. I think we all did. We all wanted an edge rusher because that's what we identified as the need on the team.
Mm-hmm.
The Buccaneers, if you watch in the current stead, if there was a skill at a position that was like mega high on their book,
Mm-hmm.
that was available when they would pick, they would have no choice but to pick it because they don't want to turn out great. It'd be like, let's say you took the 5th best edge rusher, but you could have had, in your opinion, the best wide receiver in the draft.
100%. And
we don't like that, but it makes sense. There's times where you have to draft a need because you're so crippled at that position, and I don't think the Buccaneers are frightened of their edge rushing position because they did get a veteran to come in.
That's right.
I think if a veteran hadn't come in, like we're talking a good veteran with some clout, with a bit of spice to his name,
yes,
yeah, they probably might have gone, we might have to let this guy slide because we've got absolutely nobody other than number 0.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what you said before, Slick, this is what people got to remember, Bucs fans. Remember, there was a thing called last year when Godwin and Evans both went out the same game. Then when we played again with the Chiefs, McMillan was out. We literally were down to our reserves. This is why, Slick, I was happy with this because now look at how loaded the wide receiver room is. This is what you want for a quarterback and for a team that's supposed to be Super Bowl contenders, Slick. We don't have that excuse anymore. And you said it already. The edge rushers take time to develop. Receivers too, but in this era of football, Slick, we got to be real. This is a passing era.
First round wide receivers tend to pop quite early.
Right. So why not take advantage of that? And I'm glad we're doing that because, again, this last play scared me, but it also let me. I was very appreciative of why we drafted him. McMillan, I am so happy you are better. I hope you're going to be just fine. Shame on number 39 on the Steelers. You are a piece of shit for what you've done. That was very dirty and unnecessary. And you're lucky that you didn't get your ass knocked out for that, Slick. I was disgusted. McMillan catches the ball, and your first instinct is to hit a defensive receiver in the air and flip his body. Why not at least just wait for him to catch the ball and then hit him in the air, or at least try to strip it? Why did you have to flip him? I
think at the end of the day, I don't know who it was specifically.
39. 39. I don't know who he is.
I don't know who's 39 on the defense of the Steelers.
Dirty ass. That's his name. Dirty ass.
I don't have a massive problem. I think it's part of football. I think you're asking defensive players to pull up, and I don't like that. It wasn't a flag on the play, I don't think. So as far as I'm considered, it's a legal hit. It is. I wouldn't say it's dirty. It's just unnecessary for a preseason game. Unnecessary. If that had been a regular season game, I wouldn't have given a shit at all. But I'm like, people are playing for positions. Why the fuck would you go out and lay it like that? But at the end of the day, it was a dirty hit. I don't hate it. I'll get on. It's football, man. People get injured. We're just protective because they're our guys, and we want them to do well, and we want them to succeed, and we know that guy is going to be a big part of this team in the future anyway. But for me, I was like, well, it's you right. I will say this because me and you are both very different on our minds of football because you're more of an offensive mind and I'm more of a defensive mind. You never wait for anyone to catch the football and get back on their feet. You just lay them the fuck out. It's just the way it is. Because it wasn't pure bang eight. It was close to it, but there was no flags. It wasn't a dirty hit because it would have got a dirty hit like that would get flagged because it looked nasty. It was the way he came down. Also, you got to take into account when the tackle was initiated. You can't pull up on a tackle when you're already committing to it. So it's for the sample of what it looks a lot worse than what potentially you like. If the guy's already ready to take the tackle, he ain't pulling out. He ain't going anywhere. He's going to make that tackle regardless. He's got no choice to. and he probably physically cannot because of the sheer time difference, especially when they put it into slow motion. It's football. That's the way I look at it. I think it was unnecessary for a preseason game, but we're talking about guys who are trying to make a roster, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion on it.
I wouldn't have been on the team after that because the very next play, I'm running at him and knocking him on his ass. Because at that point, I hear where you're going with it, but the way that I saw it, it's the way that he threw his body to McMillan, where it's like, honestly, Slick, it's just fucking football 101. What do you expect this man to do when he's in the air? I get it. At least just tackle him.
I was surprised it wasn't flagged, to be honest.
Because
I was a bit like,
it's Pittsburgh. Okay, it's Pittsburgh, but that's sometimes another thing that kind of pisses me off about AFC North. We have the AFC North has this stigma, and it's usually true, but it's a hard-nosed defensive division, which is cool, Slick, but at the end of the day, that doesn't give you the right to be fucking filthy. See, sometimes I have a problem with that. Just because you being filthy doesn't mean you're being physical. It just means you're being an asshole. Because if someone does the same thing to their team, then you're being dirty. So that's why I guess for me, Slick, that's why I preached when I coach, I want you to be just as physical, because being physical is a psychological warfare, not just physical. If you punch them back in the mouth, your opponent, they will. Okay. Somebody's got to break. It's shit. It is usually the one with the ego. Usually a defensive guy who thinks he's physical, but if you get physical back with him, he's like, this is not how it's supposed to go. Wait a minute, I'm this person. And that's when you go, yeah, fuck all that. I don't care what nobody says about you. So that's why for the defense, Slick, I was very impressed. The Bucs got nasty with their offensive line as well. And when they tried to run the ball in the first half, our defensive starting line was like, yeah, that shit ain't happening. And Zion pulls one of the sweetest interceptions that I've seen in a while, Slick. That shit was beautiful. Rudolph,
Zion looked good, man.
Yeah, he just snatched it out of the air, and the commentator tried to be, was it thrown late? It ain't even, no. Don't do that. Zion read it. It was perfect. It was a perfect read. Perfect read. And Vita Vea was bullying people. Are we surprised? But it was just funny, Slick, how he just literally just moves people out of the way. He just went, get your ass out the way. Yaya looked good. Yaya, I was actually very impressed with Yaya. One thing I do think that I want to see Yaya, we know we want to see him excel in the pass rush. If he can just get us 7 to 8 sacks, the defense will be top 10. But his run stopping ability, Slick, I'm just so glad that Todd Bowles, we practice that. We practice, like you said, I think we're one of the top, between the top 7 and the top 5 defenses when it comes to stopping the run. You're not running on the Bucs like that. So I was glad to see that for the most part for the early half. I was very impressed with that. I'm impressed with Broswell. Slick, he had me nervous. I ain't gonna lie, Slick. That Titans game, I was disappointed. And then the way that he played against the Steelers,
he knew what he needed to done. He watched the show and he went, I don't want to disappoint AJ. I don't want to disappoint AJ and Slick.
And I'll tell you what he really knows. Everybody knows this, Slick. The second pregame is that's your big audition, because after this, it's done. Usually the third one is we're just playing just the, this game was most important because you're playing up against everybody. I think Broswell understands I need these reps.
And the biggest thing, and I want to stress this because the what's the best way of putting this? The verdict's out on Jamal Dean, right? That he can't do this and can't do that, right?
His name is Jimmy Dean.
Dean. I will give you that in that preseason game he did not play well. However, we have been told multiple times it's all about the joint practices, and if he's been dominating the joint practices, a lot of teams do not take a massive amount of stock in starting level players, maybe not doing what they should or shouldn't do. They should do in a Mickey Mouse preseason game. They just don't, right? And that's fair. That's a philosophy, and I'm okay with that. However, let's talk about it because Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy Dean. Go ahead,
with,
Jimmy Dean.
With his pass interference is pass interference. It happens. I'm not gonna ever get down on any more pass interference. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Even the greatest cornerbacks of this century. Oh, sorry, not century, but of this era of football give up because they usually do it to Mike Evans.
Yes.
Usually. And that's another stat that needs to be recorded. But that's a different story. We'll come to that. That's a different story. We'll come to that. It's a stat that needs to be talked about.
Agreed.
The first one was due to the fact that he decided to look inside at the quarterback. And AJ, I will tell you personally, I don't give a fuck what coverage we're in. Mm-hmm. I don't want corners looking at the Q. The only time I want you looking at the Q is when you got your boy locked fucking down, which means it doesn't matter if the ball's thrown to him. You've already got him.
Right.
You got him.
Yeah.
But a lot of corners, I don't know why, look at quarterbacks when they're beat as if they're kind of hoping it might be underthrown for some sort of miracle. And I've said this to my team when I watch film, and I'm like, why are you looking back? Like, you are beat. He's got you. The only thought right now is I need to catch the fuck up. Because if this bitch catches it, I need to fucking tackle him.
Yep.
Or tug on his jersey and get a fucking foul. I've been there and done that. I don't mind a little bit of pass interference. I've been there. I've been the guy who gave the pass interference up. Mm-hmm. And the people, I felt so bad about it at the time. I was like, oh my God, I fucking, I did it on a third down and da-da-da-da-da. And do you know what happened? Three and out on each part of the drive. So everything I did was negated by the 3 and out.
Right.
However, if I didn't pass interfere, takes it for a touchdown. Let that sink in, guys. Let that sink in. Sometimes the pass interference isn't the bad call. And that's why people like Mike Evans get pass interfered. They know they can't beat him. So they'll just eat the penalty. I'll eat the penalty. Mm-hmm. I'll eat the flag, we'll get another set of downs. Mm-hmm. You don't get another set of downs if he catches it and takes it home.
Right.
You don't get another set of downs. You look up and go, oh shit, you got 6. But if you tug on that jersey and you pull him down and his arms go, what the fuck? Flag comes up, and you're like, oh, okay. At least the play stops. We get realigned. We can get the right personnel in because we might have been in the wrong personnel.
Yeah.
In business, baby. Hey, this is check. This isn't checkers. This is fucking chess, boys.
Exactly. My only issue is with Jimmy Dean is that I have yet to see true development over the years. The last time we seen Jimmy actually be,
I've seen it, but then it's dropped in the last 2.
That's my point.
I will 100% admit that. Once we lost pass rushers, he started to dwindle.
Exactly. I think
he was fucking phenomenal. SMB was phenomenal at one point.
Yes. And I think that's why you and we really focus on more man coverage until we get back to what we were defensively and pass rushing in 2021 and 2020. That's a different story. You said it. Dean and Carlton, they could do certain things in deep coverage because you had the pass rush that was there. But when you don't have that, it's a liability. And this is why we try to explain to people. That's why, typically Bowles loves his cover 3. That's just, and for everybody out there,
I fucking hate cover 3.
Yeah, if you don't understand the difference between it, somebody said, well, AJ, what's the difference in your cover 3? Your DBs are going to play more deep coverage rather than cover 2. They play the flats. Well, who plays the flats in the cover 3? That's your safety. Your strong safety comes down.
Your strong safety comes down on one side, and your outside backer goes to the other side. It depends how you run it. So, so you got a roll free. So a roll free also depends on what shell you're in. So if you're in a 1 high shell, it is 2 corners and a safety. That's your cover 3. If you're in a too high shell, now this gets interesting because
Yep.
a corner goes up, a safety might go up, the other safety rolls down,
Yep.
and the corner goes up. Or alternatively, you could do it differently. You could go corner goes up, safety goes up, and the corner plays down. And this is why I always say it's so hard to find out in the coverage what's wrong, because you don't know what's being called. Because there are, in people's minds, they have like cover 3 is this, cover 2 is that, cover 4 is this, and cover 3 is that. And it's like, no, there's a multitude of ways to do every single coverage, which
That's
is
right.
why coverage is such a big discussed thing, because there's multiple different ways to skin the cat. And that's why I always go, okay, I want to look at what the player's doing, because the eyes of the player will sometimes tell you. So in this particular play, I'm not sure if he was in zone or man, but regardless, he peeps out to the quarterback, and then the player extends and separates. By the time he realizes this,
Yes.
which I would assume is when the player starts to flash in front of his eyes, he decides, oh shit, I better go and cover I've got to jump on this guy. And it's too little too late.
That's right.
In the touchdown,
Yep.
touchdown, his eyes drift inwards and he goes somewhere else, which tells me he's in zone. Because if you're a man, you ain't got nowhere else to go. Your eyes are drilled into the near side hip of the player you're aligned against. So they're definitely in zone. So that's what I'm saying. You can figure out certain things. Knowing exact what the coverage is very difficult, especially in a Coach Bowles defense where they do fuck around a lot. There's a lot of fuckery in that defense from a coverage perspective.
And he can switch it up, because we have seen one side of the ball, a corner is up, and then the other side, another corner, it backs into deep coverage. So he likes to confuse.
And that's the beauty, because then you can play that two different ways. Because if I've got a corner that's right in your face, and I've just shown you that one corner goes up and one corner is staying in the flats, you're going to go, okay, I know what this is. Well, what if I played my corner that's in your face on a bail technique? So as soon as that ball snapped, he just fucking explodes deep, and the other guy comes down and plays the flat. This is the beauty of coverage, is you can manipulate how you go to these things. But people have this Madden mindset of cover 2 is 2 guys going that way, 2 safety, 2 corners that way, and then you've got you got your 2 middle zones, and then you've got this. Sorry, you got your 2 hook seam curl droppers, and then you got this one in the middle, which is where your Shelton Quells, your Hardy Nickerson's played.
Yes.
And then in a cover 3, you've got your hook seam curls, flat, deep left, deep right, deep middle. I fucking don't like cover 3, and I don't like cover 1.
Yeah, I'm not a cover 3 person. For me, I like cover 2. That's just me. And it's not because, guys, you're because you're a Bucs. No, I like the scheme behind it.
I just like too high. I love too high.
Exactly.
If a team's forcing me to play, I've got to roll my safety down. Then I'll play. For me, I'm a believer in playing my safety. It's that other safety on the other side. Let's say I'm a big 4-2-5 guy. And for me, so 4-2-5, you know what it is. I don't know if you do.
Yes.
So on a 4-2-5, you have 2 high safeties, but the one safety where you don't have the overhang outside linebacker. So you have 2 middle linebackers. You have 2 middle linebackers, and you have one outside linebacker that's to the field, which is the wider side of the park.
And that's usually your Sam. That's usually your Sam, right? You want your Sam.
Yeah, your Sam. Like, there are other words for it, but Sam will work. I think we used Robber when I was at the Steelers. They don't do anything like that at Hereford. They do something completely different. They're more traditional in their coverage structure. And then I would play the safety, which we called a bandit, and rolled him down to about 7 yards. So he's playing almost like a very, very deep DB, but not deep enough to be considered a safety.
Right.
So he can still play the run because you don't have a force defender on that side.
Right.
So he becomes the fourth defender, but if you put him too far back, he ain't a four. No one's playing force at fucking 10. You're going to play further down so he can play force. And that's why the bandit in this situation, the guy who's playing at the 7, playing at 7, he has to be very explosive and probably one of the better tacklers at the DB group and one of the more faster players on the defensive side.
Yes.
Mainly because he needs to explode into his back pedal when it's a pass. So he goes through his steps, 1, 2, 3. Oh, pass, boom! I gotta hit it because I'm not at 10 or 12 like my opposite guy. I'm at 7, so I need to fucking build some momentum.
Yes.
So there's so many intricacies to. But going back to Jamal Dean, he looks away.
Jimmy
Dean. Jimmy Dean looks in. And he goes, oh, shit, I left a guy uncovered. And turns, it's too little, too late. Mm-hmm. So, me personally, in that situation, I always want, if we're inside the 10, so 10 or inside, I want to play man coverage. I want to play man coverage because I need guys to stick to people like glue.
Yeah.
Because when guys are going to hold on to, that's when the quarterback's going to hold on to the ball.
Yes.
Those quick hitters aren't going to be there as much because there's just not enough space.
Mm-hmm. And in your pass rush, the pass rush that we have, hopefully now, will be able to get to the quarterback to make him make a mistake. Either he's going to have to eat a sack, or he might get desperate, Slick, and try to run out and be a hero and either try to run in for the end zone, or he'll run and throw off his foot, which will cause an interception or best an incomplete. That's what we want. Now, speaking of other schemes that I love, that I think we're going to be doing very well in, is the nickel, because we got a guy called Jacob Parrish. He balled out again to this past week. Slick, love the guy. He's good at pass breakup, and he's a for sure tackler. And you know this, as a nickel, you have to be a for sure tackler, and I love it. I think he's doing a fabulous job. He's playing like he wants to be on this roster. And I saw this. Tyke was flat-footed. I'll
relook at it, and there is some truth to that. However, the interesting thing is, and this is what we don't know, what was the coverage? So Tyke's flat-footed. Okay, I can live with that. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I can live with it because that's one of the mistakes I saw. Mm-hmm. But is there a reason he's flat-footed? I don't know. Second thing I see is I see a corner peeping out to the fucking quarterback and allowing separation on a guy who he's aligned to. So if they're in man, he's 100% wrong. If they're in zone, potentially there's an argument for KGH for life that he's right, that Tyke Smith was flat-footed. And this is what I mean. It's so hard to criticize corners. If you know that they're in man, then yeah, you can sit there and go, okay, this team's just pure man. That's all they play. He got beat there. He got beat there. And he got beat there. And that's why I always said to people back in the days, like when Chris Conti, everyone hated that guy. I didn't think that was much of a problem. He's a Bucs safety. He was a Bucs safety, and a lot of people didn't really understand what that was. But the amount of people said to me, well, they're in cover 2, but he should be covering the X, Y, and Z guy. No, and I mean by X, Y, Z, not players on but like this person. And I said, you do realize even from a 2 high, and we elaborated to it earlier because you put it there. You said it yourself. In a 2 high situation, it's even harder to figure out who's covering what, because you now have 4 DBs that potentially could go into those zones. Because usually it's DBs that go into those zones. So if it was 1 high, it's much easier to figure out. It's free safety, cornerback. Mm-hmm. For the most part, right?
Right.
In a 2 high, it can be almost anybody. One of those 4 isn't in the coverage structure of the deeps. One of them's playing a shallower route, a shallower zone. And that can be any zone underneath. It could be the middle. It could be the hook seam curl. It could be the flat. It all depends on how it's drawn up. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. And I'm not saying Chris Conti was good or anything like that. Not at all.
I get
What
you.
I'm saying is, when you sit there and criticize a guy, it's really difficult when you don't know what the coverage structure is.
Right. And again, in that one play where he got beat the first time, Dean still gave him all that cushion, and you still got beat. Now, some people were some people asked, were like, well, AJ, what if Dean was expecting Tyke to pick him up? I said that could be, but like you said, Slick, I told that individual, we don't know what the play was, and they could be right. It could have been Tyke's responsibility to pick up.
I think it was, because I watched the press conference. Now, I don't think, maybe I'm naive, I don't think Coach Bowles is going to cover for one player over another player. And he said the only one that he was disappointed in was the touchdown.
Yes.
So the long the long play could quite happily been on somebody. It could have probably been on somebody else. I just looked at it from face value, and face value told me I had a corner looking inwards. From my opinion, for no reason. Because I'm a fundamental believer that you only look at the quarterback when you've got your guy locked the fuck down.
Right.
I will make my guys run laps if they look at a quarterback.
Yes, and every time
if they look at a quarterback and they got that guy locked up, like they're running down, they're running down the route with him, shoulder to shoulder. He's leaning. I call it a lean and I don't call it. It's fundamental. A lean and locate. Cheers. I'll take that.
Exactly. When it comes to Dean, it's just every time, you know how breakfast sounds when you put that, when you heat the pan up and then you put the butter on there, and then you put the sausage on there or the bacon, and you hear that. That's Dean every time he gets on the fucking field for the past few years. That's all I hear. I'm gonna start making that especially last year. I mean, the problem is we don't know, because we had that whole almost a year where we played this fucking backed off coverage. I want to see Dean. I want to see more of Dean. I do. I generally do. Because it feels like Zion McCollum's taking a step up every year, and it feels like, I'll be honest, I'll say this. I wouldn't even say regression. Standing still. Yeah, he's a stalemate. That's my point. I've yet to see Dean elevate to where, like you said, Zion went from he shouldn't be on this fucking roster.
I can remember. Can you remember the preseason that me and you were having conversations with last year?
Yes.
Like, I don't even know Zion McCollum can cover anybody.
Exactly. And then he just
now we're looking again. Maybe Zion McCollum's the best corner on the team.
Yeah, he is the best corner. And that's another thing that we have seen in this past preseason. We've had two back-to-back games where we have 3 interceptions. Damn it, Slick. That is what we only had 7 last season. So I whatever Bowles is doing, shout out to you, Coach, for getting these guys to understand to how to pick the balls up. Even on tip drills, Slick, they're concentrating. Remember, last season, it was a miracle that we got those. Even so, I think the defense is on schedule. Remember last year, Slick, where we had other commentators that said we're going to have to rely on this offense in the beginning. Now, I think, the offense is going to do their job, but now I think, in my opinion, Slick, it looks like this defense can help the offense earlier. Like, we got you guys. We're going to bail you out. We're going to get these turnovers, and the schedule helps the Bucs. You're going up against a rookie in Penix. Then your next game, CJ's he's a special talent, but he doesn't have the offensive line. Then you're going up against the Jets, where their offense is blank. So we got
who throws for the Jets these days?
Justin Fields.
Okay.
And again, he's a work in process. So that whole entire offense is going to take time. That's why I think, Slick, the Bucs defense.
I think Atlanta will be tough because they're just in their own home. I think that game will be tough, and I think we'll win it, but I think it will be a tough game.
I don't know.
The next game, I think we should walk. I generally do.
I don't know why, Slick. I think we're going to put belt to ass, and the cheeks are just going to be like this.
I would love that. I think I'm just thinking home field advantage. They do have talent. And we're going into their home. I could see us struggling, but I see us pulling it out.
Yeah, I see us winning.
But I would not be surprised if we did just go. You know what I mean?
I honestly see the Bucs putting up 34-13. 34. The reason why
I love that.
The reason why I say this is
look at me being respectable and being nice and everything.
Well, no, first of all, Slick, this is a Todd Bowles special. The past 3 years, our first 2-3 games, we always look fucking fantastic. Do you realize the past 3 years we've been 2-0 with him? So usually it's the first few games.
Fucking middle of the season he can't sort out.
It's the first 4 games. Bowles will have the Bucs looking like, oh shit.
How many times have we had this conversation? Yeah, you're absolutely right, because the amount of times me and you had the conversation going, man, we're like 3-1 right now. If we go in the next quarter and we can go like just 2-2, and then go 2-2 in the last one, and then go win out the final fucking quarter, where does that put us? And me and you are like, puts us as a fucking winning football team.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what Bowles. That's why when it comes to Atlanta, I'm not sold yet, because again, we will have most of our healthy players, knock on wood, but also I don't think Penix is he's going to be in the right position. We just talked about
done in the off season. What they've done in preseason.
He's okay, Slick, but the problem is it's the pass rush. Walker and those guys, they're not ready yet. And that's to be expected. Like, how many times have you tried to explain to people pass rushers don't just fucking come out the gate hot? It takes time. And if we're smart, we're going to run the ball.
So this Atlanta Falcons team hasn't won a game in the preseason, and that means fuck all because it's the preseason. But they lost to the Tennessee Titans. Yeah,
a team that we
not so great. Losing to the Lions, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. If I'm honest, and the loss that they had, they got all their points in the third quarter.
Yeah,
fucking third quarter. That means their boy didn't even fucking play at that point. That means you had a backup going, I'm fucking playing for a spot.
Right. That's why I say, Slick, when it comes to this defense after this game, we're showing that there is some depth. Now, of course, we have concerns about the secondary because few people are out and people are tweaked. But I said this, like, and I'm standing on this. It's the front seven that has to show me that they're going to take care of business, because that front seven, if we have an above average pass rush, Slick, our secondary only needs to be average. You have an above average pass rush, you're going to be fine. Hassan Reddick, Slick, I didn't know he's actually solid in pass coverage. They've been talking about how in practices and stuff, he's been all over the place. He's back and forth. And another guy that everybody is waiting to explode, I told you this, Slick, I've already said it, Kalijah Cansey. Kalijah's ready. He's going to be he's going to be a 14+ sack guy this year. Why? With the addition of Hassan, you got one side now. Again, let's be real. Like last year with JTS, a lot of teams weren't coaching up to that.
It's how the Falcons haven't played their starting quarterback yet. And I know we haven't, so I'm not going to sit here and say like, this kid's a year 2 guy.
Yes.
Who just got hold of the hands. I would have a hold of the team. I would have thought you want to see a fucking metric shit ton. Like, you're at least going a quarter, at least 2 quarters.
I agree 100%. What I don't think
look at him. He is either fucking drilling it like a motherfucker or they're fucking scared.
I think it's a combination of both, but I think they're trying to have a facade as, oh, he's doing this and all that. But the problem is, like you said, Slick, when it comes to Baker, we've seen Baker's body of work. So his credibility is far better than Penix. You just said it. Penix, you're basically going to be a rookie all over again. You need as much rep time as possible. Slick, that's why I said I'm not worried about Atlanta. Because I think, if anything, we want to get our division games foes out of the way early anyway. And again, it's the pattern of Bowles. He comes out swinging typically in his first 3 games. You said it. It's the fucking middle of the season that we got to be like Bowles. If in the middle of the season, 5 games,
2 games in the middle of the season, that's all we ask.
Yeah, exactly. Get us 2 wins, and with
give me 4 wins in an 8-game period, but win both the other sides.
Exactly. So
I will take 4 losses.
Exactly.
All day.
Exactly. Same here. But the thing is, with the schedule the way it is, like we are blessed with what we have. Again, we're playing teams that are not as complete as we are. The Falcons are not complete yet. The Texans are not complete. The Jets damn sure ain't complete. Then the Eagles will be our biggest matchup. However, what did we say before? They have a lot more to prove than we do. And remember, they got to come back.
We have a very good track record against that Eagles team.
Yes. Look, that's our garden tool for right now. Eagles, you are our garden tool. You are recreational use for us right now until otherwise. Well, we won the Super Bowl. That's cool, but you didn't play Tampa. If you'd have played Tampa, that shit might have been.
You won a Super Bowl, but you still lost to Tampa winning the Super Bowl. So it means nothing. Like,
it means
don't
nothing.
get me wrong. Kudos to winning the Super Bowl. Why didn't you beat us? Why didn't you beat us? We're just the lowly fucking Bucs.
And look, first things first, our ass whooping actually humbled them and made them play better. So you're actually welcome. Because if we didn't deliver the kind of ass whooping, maybe you guys wouldn't have been, you still would have been in that funk. So that's why, Slick, you know me, I'm the optimist. You're more well balanced, but for me, I'm coming out swinging because like this is Bowles' time. It's not going to get any.
He signed a contract, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have signed that. I wouldn't have offered the contract.
Me neither.
I'm like, dude, you fucking give me a double-digit win season with at least 1 to 2 playoff wins,
and we got you.
I'll sign you for 5 years.
Facts. I would have done the same in my personal opinion. I need you to get me at least, again, with this roster, and the bills have been paid, guys. We paid our bills to win the last Super Bowl. Get me to
We are not poor anymore.
You're not poor. If you can get me to the NFC, I'm not even asking you to win the NFC. Just get us there, and we're good to go. Because that shows me you're moving up. But this year, Slick, to me, anything under 12 wins is inexcusable. These are your hardest teams, Buck fans. It's going to be the Eagles, the Bills, the Rams. Those are your 3 hardest teams. Oh, and the Lions. I'm sorry, 4. You got to go at least 2-2 out of those fucking teams. Slick, if you
and you're probably gonna lose 1 in the division.
Maybe it depends.
I think we'll lose 1 to the division. I think it'll be Carolina. I think it'll be Carolina at home.
It could be, and if I'll say this,
when is Carolina at home though?
It's late in December. That's why I'm saying if we lose to Carolina, it better be because Kyle Trask is playing.
That's the only reason why I think we might lose the first one. But we're hopping first.
I don't think we're gonna. I don't see the only team in our division that would maybe be Atlanta. Again, it's a bunch of what ifs.
Well, maybe it's Carolina at us. I don't know. But I think we'll lose the division game because division games are a very different beast. You've seen dog shit teams beat really good teams. We've been the team.
Yes, we have.
So we know that division, all bets are fucking off.
You're right.
Fucking Saints doubled on us and we won a Super Bowl.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So I do think somebody's going to pip us in the division. I would rather it be Carolina
than Atlanta.
But I would rather it be Carolina at home than Carolina away. If Carolina plays in December, I want us playing the best football. Agreed. I don't want us losing a fucking game in December. December should be mistake-free, win at all costs. We're ready to roll.
We're on a fucking roll. I got you. I get you on that. We're gonna take one more break in this. Slick, I want you to give me your letter grades to 3 players on offense and defense, and we'll wrap this bad boy up. We'll be right back, y'all.
Hey, everybody around this mother is working hard. What we gonna do that's different, that separates us from the rest of the league? We got the most talent. What we gonna do? Let's get it. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Right, family. Go ahead, Coach Slick. Give me your three.
On the preseason game?
Yes, sir.
Damn. Jalen McMillan gets a high grade, not because he got injured, but just the sheer fact, the skill level of hawking that ball down, go up and get it, climb the ladder, pulls it down. Sterling Shepard had a surprisingly good day. I'm really pleased with him. I give him a B+.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give the next one to Bucky Irvin because that guy needed a touchdown just to go make Buccaneers. I'm not none of us were worried, but now we're like, okay, we're buzzing. We're buzzing. He got that buzz going. Tez Johnson had a good day, of course, as well. He got 4. But there was a lot of guys on offense that ate very well. And I imagine most of them ate on fucking Teddy Bridgewater's watch. So
okay.
But defensively, Merriweather, 4 tackles, just doing his thing, and Vida, or I don't know how you pronounce it, Kindle Vida.
I think so.
Gilda.
Signed him from Detroit.
Pleased for him, but I don't know if this guy's going to make the roster yet. Because we've seen guys before pop up and get a touchdown, pop up, do this, and we get all excited because they did a touchdown. They got a touchdown, or they got an INT, or they got 3 sacks in the game, and we're like, oh, this guy's going to be fucking legit. And they don't make the roster, and everyone's shot. It's probably because the rest of practice has been not that good. That's why I always say, like, don't take a massive amount of stock in. But I'm going to give one to Chris Braswell because I think there's a bit of pressure on him to prove himself. He did just that. 2 tackles with a sack. But Kayvon Area, I think he's locked up the backup safety position for sure. I think that guy's going to be, I wouldn't say special or anything, but he's locked that job up. The third person's tough. I think Nick Jackson's still doing his thing because it's been back to back. Nick Jackson making plays.
Yes.
So I can see him going further. Those are my guys. I know I'm a letter grade. I would struggle with letter grades because I would rank people too low.
No worries, Coach.
I rank people too low because I think, you know, when guys rank girls and they go, she's a 10, and I'm like,
you like,
it's not the fact that she's a 10, but it's the fact that 10 is subjective.
It is, and
like,
first thing,
what's a 10 to you is different to what a 10 is to me. What a 10 is to somebody else. Like
this is true, but I always look at it like if that person, like,
for me, a 10 woman has got to be like literally every man on earth goes.
That's my point. It's like you don't have to think about it. If you have to go,
yeah.
Like when we ask who's the best corner of all time, Prime. That comes right up. Now,
and there are people who are in the argument, but it's Prime.
It's Prime. And then when people like, is Asante Samuel a Hall of Famer? You got to go. That's the point, Slick. Like you said, we got to go. When you got to go. Hold on. Let me get back with you on that. That's when
you answered the question even better. There is no question that it was Prime. Oh, he got it.
Exactly. We know.
Asante Samuel was eligible for the Hall of Fame a while ago. He ain't got it.
Right. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen.
All of a sudden, there was a time where Sanders was available for the Hall of Fame, and they went, "That's that guy."
Exactly. It's just
there was a time. There was a time where Asante Samuels was available for the Hall of Fame, and they went,
"We'll get back to you." Yeah, it's like we'll get back to you.
And that's no shade on fucking Asante Samuel. I would love to have that man's God-given ability, and his son is talented too. I'm just saying he ain't proper.
Cool. Yeah, he ain't Hall of Fame to me. He's cool, but not Hall of Fame.
I'm picking there, but he's going to be one of those guys who gets it when they're a bit older.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen better, but that's just me. So that's a whole other story. But I'll just say mine.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say offensively, Abuka, you did your thing. I'm proud of you. Welcome. I see greatness. And you're right. I like Sterling Shepard. He's
Where the fuck is where the fuck is Trey Palmer?
Trey Palmer. He's gone.
He's gone, man.
He's going to be in that
There
Trey
are
Hendrickson.
literally every dude on this. Let me just reel off some fucking names that caught passes. Sterling Shepard got 3. Garrett Green got 3. Ted Johnson 4. Jalen McMillan 1. Bucky Irvin 1. Hannah Talua 1. Josh Williams 1. Sean Tucker 2. Ryan Miller 2. Jaden Smith 1. Raheem Jarrett 1. Jacob Harris 1. Emeka Ibuka 1. Owen Wright 1. What? Like, is he injured? Am I missing something?
He's going to be a part of that Trey Hendrickson trade when we get him. So I'm just
no one's fucking touching that dude. No one's touching fucking Trey Palmer.
No, exactly. It would be nice, but that's wishful thinking.
Let's go for the game the week before, which has a lot more names on it. Receiving: Brian Miller, Jalen McMillan, Garrett Green, Emeka Ibuka, Raheem Jarrett, Devin Cole, Jacob Harris, Owen Wright, Sean Tucker. You gotta show up somewhere.
Yeah,
he gone. So right now, if someone asked me and said, who are the wide receivers of the Buccaneers? I'm saying it is Mike Evans, it is Chris Godwin, it is Emeka Ibuka,
Jalen
McMillan, and now we're going
Sterling Shepard.
And Tez Johnson.
Tez Johnson. That's it. That's your receiving core. And Ryan will be on the practice squad just in case, because we're not going to let him go. But yeah.
And Raheem Jarrett, I think.
Raheem Jarrett. Trey Palmer's gone. Trey Palmer is gone.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't show up in any game. And the thing is, it's been an attitude thing from what I heard.
Yes, that's the point. And you're fuck all that. Bye. So yeah, my last guy though I'm gonna grade is again Teddy. He did a great job. Now on defense, Broswell is my number 1 guy because I wanted to see improvement because we're gonna need him, Slick, later on when it comes to depth in this season. We can't always rely on Hassan and everybody else. This is why depth is important. Hassan is gonna have to take some
I want Hassan to be married to I forgot his name. Zero.
Oh, Yaya
Diaby. Sorry, once I get a name and you say yeah, my brain's clicking.
Yeah,
I marry Yaya and get that rotation in.
And that's exactly why Broswell, your key. Nick Jackson, same thing. I was very impressed by Nick Jackson because I think he's going to be a nice fundamental piece in depth. Yeah. So I'm very impressed about that. And then Zion, thank you. Continue to keep doing what you're doing. So yeah, that's it right there. And then we'll get to this Bills game next week, guys. That's just going to be like a fluff game. I'm just. For the most part, we're gonna see who's on this roster, but it's gonna be a good one. But again, y'all, I appreciate y'all checking out Bucs Report, the aftermath. Again, check out It's About Bucking Time. That's my YouTube channel. Give Coach Slick an opportunity, and shout out to his successful win, y'all. You guys take care out there. TikTok, I'm gonna be out there starting shit on there. AJ Turnup as always. But go Bucs. I'll see you later, my brother. You take care, Slick.
Take care, brother. Look out.
Peace.
Okay, guys. So yeah, my season has come to the end, which is brilliant because we did it in an emphatic fashion. So last year I was with the Sandwell Steelers, and we made it all the way to Brick Bowl, which is our version of the Super Bowl. They decided to change that, so only the Premier Division goes to Brick Bowl. Everyone else goes to Dead Man Boots. So what that means is the worst team in Division 1 plays against one of the better teams, or the best team, one of the best teams in Division 2. And that's the route I took. I went to Hereford Stampede, and we went all the way to play against one of the teams in Division 1, which was the Wyverns, Somerset Wyverns. We beat them 17-7 in a very tough, hot, defensive level game. Both defenses were really balling. We just got the upper hand eventually and made our plays when we needed to. It's a little bit of a kick in the teeth because, like, if Sandwell won their game in Brit Bowl, which we didn't, we lost 14-0. We would have walked away with a ring. Unfortunately, because it's not technically a champ, we didn't win a championship, but we won promotion. It's all up in the air about do we get rings or not. So hopefully we do, because we deserve them. There's no more we could do, right? That's the thing. There's not one more thing that we could have done to do more. We earned promotion. It's just what do you put on it? Promoting ring? I don't know. I'll leave that with you guys. But on that note, I will see you all guys next Monday, next Tuesday, whatever we decide. It's going to come up. Talk about this roster. Talk about what's going on with your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But on that note, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs!
I don't know what to say, really. 3 minutes to the biggest battle of our professional lives. All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time. Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make. I pissed away all my money, believe it or not. I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in the mirror. You know, when you get old in life, things get taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.